In Psalm 52, when David writes about the events with Doeg and the death of the priest at Nob, he writes these words in verse 8. But I am like a green olive tree in the house of God. I trust in the steadfast love of God forever and ever. This is a beautiful statement considering the death and the evil that Doeg had brought about and David's own blame of himself. Evil had come so heavily, and he states that so clearly. But then he goes on to make it clear how you and I, while we deal with our evil, can find hope and safety. In fact, what we see is that he says these things, that it's in the presence of God, in the house of God, where God dwells and lives. Now, first and foremost, for me and for you, that means in our time with God, just shutting our eyes, able to entering in prayer right now, because you are the temple of God. We are the people of God. We have access to God through Jesus Christ right now. And so he's never far from us. And so in evil, he is right there with us. And so we want to step into the presence of God. And in the presence of God, what we will find is life. He says he's a green olive tree, which means he's bearing fruit. He has purpose even in the evil. He is going to have vitality in life even when things are trying to tear you down. Even when that job is gone, even when you face that persecution, even when you face somebody who wants to destroy your life, you will stand before God with vitality, with life, because he has loved us, right? His steadfast love is forever and ever. And this simply means that God's love's not going to stop. It's always going to be with you. And so when we see evil, when we face evil, when we deal with the death of a loved one, and it's just evil, when horrible things have happened in our country, in our city, on your block, in your life, man, then you lean into the presence of God and remember the cross. Because it's at the cross where evil is twisted to the good, where evil is flipped to our salvation, where the greatest evil ever incurred becomes our greatest good that's ever happened to us. And it's at that cross that we remember it. That's how much God loved us. That's how much he loved us. He was willing to go through the worst of evils so that we would be able to have life and vitality in his presence. That is the route. That's the thinking we need to have when we face evil. Go to the cross, be in his presence, for he gives us life, even in the midst of evil.